Greetings, one and all. Welcome to another episode of the Lunch Break Podcast.
Hey.
Tell you, it's good. It's good to be back this week because we did one last week. So finally, we're doing these podcast episodes weekly.
That's great. Consecutive. We're getting better at this again.
It's a lot better than what we had done, which was we're gonna record one and then recuperate from doing that for like 2 months.
We need that little extra break in the meantime. So.
I think we unintentionally though left off with a pretty decent season finale with the Crocs.
Yeah, I think so. That was a really well-liked episode.
I think that, which is funny, I heard the most about Almond Joy and Crocs.
Oh, so
which
like
was,
bookends.
Which was our bookend, which is exactly what you want.
Yes, excellent.
And it was completely and entirely unintentional.
A successful first season.
Yeah. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I love getting into debates. And since we both agreed on Crocs, it was really nice to bring in someone who also disagreed.
Yes, it's good to get
Disagreed
some
with us.
banter.
Yeah. Speaking of banter, we got a tweet.
We did
this past week, unrelated to the Bean Boozled, but it was with candy. I guess it was actually really related. Now that I think of it, because Bean Boozled is
a candy.
It's not good candy.
No, it's not.
It's not good candy.
It's not meant to be. I don't think either.
So your brother-in-law and friend of the show, Paul Parker,
Good old Paulie Parker.
he tweeted at us the question: what is the worst candy of all time?
That's a great question.
To which then he just asked, Peeps?
I think that deserves an answer, don't you think?
Like
That's why I'm
that
talking
is
about
the
it.
answer?
No. That question deserves an answer.
Yeah.
It's a very important question. What's the worst candy?
How do you feel about the Peeps assessment?
It's definitely in the category of worst. It's got some contenders, though. At least one contender, I think. And I think maybe this is where you have to almost separate this question out into different jurisdictions, seasonal jurisdictions. So, for instance, I think Peeps is definitely the worst candy when it comes to the Easter season.
Yes.
Yeah,
Peeps.
I think it's got no other competitors there.
Yeah.
It's a very clear winner for that coveted spot of worst candy for the Easter season.
Sometimes I'll eat a Peep though. Like
It's weird. It's like it sounds gross. It's like sniffing farts, like my kids like to do. Like they know it smells terrible, but you got to smell it because you got to be like, oh, that was terrible.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's
you had
gross.
to sample a Peep every so often to remind yourself, yeah, this is terrible. This is what I remember it being. Even with the ones that have chocolate on them, doesn't make them any better.
Oh, yeah. No, because that's
you can't clean it up.
That's got to be the worst level of chocolate possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had responded with these being the worst candy of all time. I don't know what they're called on account of the wrappers have no label to them. Maybe the big bag they come in has a name, but whenever you get to partaking, they don't have a name. They're just little, like, almost taffy-like candies that are just wrapped in either an orange or a black wrapper.
Right. Yes.
And that's what it is what it, you get that, you're like, I know what
clear,
this is.
though, too, the wrappers. You can almost see through them. Right?
Not
they
the ones
glisten, don't they, a little bit?
Wait, if
those
those
you're
are
showing me.
clear,
Okay, I'm thinking of a different candy. Never mind.
Yeah, these ones aren't necessarily clear. Are you thinking of the ones that are just like shaped like a strawberry? Are you thinking of those hard candies?
No. Actually, I'm thinking of they're hard candies, but they're usually like butterscotch.
Oh, I know exactly
and
what
they're
you're talking
orange
about.
as well. But they're
I don't mind those.
Like the fluorescent.
Yeah, they're like
color.
They're like the most stock Werthers.
Yes.
But without the quality of Werthers.
They're the old lady candy. Like the old ladies usually have them
Yes.
and give them out to kids.
Yes. So these are like almost, I think they're like a peanut butter taffy.
Now I'm seeing the photo that you have up on screen.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, those are bad too.
Yeah, so they're not great. But anyway, we didn't come here today to talk candy.
No. Wait, I got to say one thing though.
Oh, say it. Okay, go ahead and say your
so
worst Halloween.
Since we're going into the Halloween season soon, my worst the worst on my list I think is the candy corn. So,
and I think that's on a lot of people's list. Yeah. I personally enjoy some candy corn.
Right.
But you take like one candy corn too much, and all of a sudden
you're done for the year.
You're full of cavities.
Right, and okay, I'm done for the season.
Like, too sweet.
Yeah,
too sweet.
So thanks, Paul, for that for tweeting that to us. And
yes, and anyone else who wants to tweet some stuff to us, we are on Twitter at the Lunch Bee Pod. At the Lunch Bee Pod. Paul, thank you for being the best Twitter follower we have.
Yes, definitely. And what do we have today to talk about, though?
So
this was your idea.
This was my idea.
Smart
I
idea.
feel like today's a day for confession.
A confessional.
This is a confessional kind of day because I think we're gonna put some stuff out there that is gonna make people be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
So now that we've set the stage, today we're gonna talk about movies that we haven't seen, but by all means, culturally, we should have seen them.
Right. It's almost culturally unacceptable that we have not seen these movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have compiled lists and have not shared them with each other.
No, yeah, we kept them secret.
I'll share this. This is what kind of got me thinking about it. So here at the church where we work, The Godfather is a movie that's referenced regularly.
Yeah, because you would think that would be the case for every church.
Right? A movie that people weren't allowed to go see back in the day because it was too much.
When you got 3 Italians on staff.
Nothing but Italians on staff. Well, I mean, other people are more than welcome to work here, but we got the Italian thing going.
Right.
So Godfather's been referenced here as long as I've been here and prior to that.
Yeah.
And it was in 2018, at some point, I finally told Chris, I've never seen The Godfather. I've heard so many references around the building at that point that if it was made, like, I know that's a Godfather reference. Anything with a cannoli and guns, Godfather reference. But
Headless Horses, yeah.
Yes, I know. Like that's one everybody just knows. The horse in the bed,
right?
Godfather.
Make him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah,
I'm just going too far with this, but I'm just
I know
giving some ideas.
I knew enough,
yeah,
to pass off that I had seen the movie, but I hadn't.
Right,
I hadn't seen part 1, part 2, or part 3,
and I was flabbergasted when I heard this. So I said, "You have to watch this," and to which you responded, "I know."
I know. I'm aware. So I cranked him out in like 1 week of time. I had a wedding, and I was going to be on a train for a few hours, so I got part 1 done on that. And I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and then I watched the other ones. And 2 was fine. 3, I still don't know what I watched. Pretty sure there was kissing cousins, and it was real weird.
It was
real
terrible.
Weird.
Yeah,
it was real weird. But we have longer lists than that.
Yes.
So
the last I looked at I was up to 60 when I said I got to stop, and then I started got to put them in an order where, yeah, the obviously the worst offenders got to be way up top so we could talk about them.
Okay.
The worst offenders for me, the ones I haven't seen. But
yeah, I don't know. I didn't have quite that large a list. I want to put this. I can't put it on the monitor right in front of you.
I don't want me to see it.
I don't want you to see the whole list, but
yeah.
We're recording the video on my phone, so the only thing I have to work with is my computer, which is right in front of Chris's face. So I don't have a long list, but okay. I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Because it's cut from the same cloth as Godfather.
Okay.
I have never seen Scarface.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Isn't that? I mean, that's a movie. People put posters of Scarface in their room.
Yes.
I've never seen
with Tony Montana, or how do you say his name? I forget how you say his last name.
I don't know because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But if you were to say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend.
That's Scarface.
Yeah, right.
I get it.
Yeah.
You're sitting at a table, coked out, money, guns, whatever. Scarface, I get it. I get the reference.
Yeah.
But I've never seen Scarface.
Okay, well, that's understandable. I didn't see that until, I'd say, within the last 5 years. So it wasn't one that I saw early on in my, in the age where it was appropriate to watch it, over 17, right? But no, I could see why that would get kind of brushed under the rug. It's not nearly as famous as The Godfather or even another movie, Goodfellas, for instance.
I have seen Goodfellas.
And this kind of, I got to say it now because this is what we're talking about. But
is it on the list?
It's on my list. I haven't seen Goodfellas, so I've seen Scarface, but I haven't seen Goodfellas.
You haven't seen Goodfellas?
No. I've
Funny,
seen bits and pieces.
funny how? Funny like a clown, but you know the reference,
I know
right?
the reference. Yeah, there's a couple parts
What do you mean
I've seen.
funny? That's not a good. I don't do a good Pesci.
No, that's better than I could. I'm not even gonna try. I guess I saw the first 3 minutes or whatever it is of Goodfellas and said, I'm not watching this right now. When the guy gets cut up in the back of the trunk of the car, I'm like, I don't think I can watch this right now.
Yeah,
That
I
was
saw
rough.
that at an age that was not appropriate.
Did you?
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't know what age Goodfellas becomes appropriate.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think it's still not appropriate
Just
for me.
riddled with violence, language, sex, whatever.
It's got it all.
It's bad.
It's gratuitous.
It's bad.
Yeah.
So that's a good word.
So you haven't seen Scarface?
I have not seen Scarface.
Which and I haven't seen Goodfellas. So we both have a mob movie we haven't seen.
Okay,
that's on the list.
That's,
so
now that I'm thinking of mob movies, I haven't seen what is it, Once Upon a Time in the Bronx or something.
Okay, yeah,
A Bronx Tale.
A Bronx Tale. I did see that.
Not seen that.
Yeah.
Saw a clip of it, but I haven't seen the movie. But
yeah.
okay, so Scarface is not one that dropped your jaw, which is good because I always felt like I don't want to tell people that because everyone knows who Scarface is, but maybe just everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
And nobody's taking the time.
That's true too. There's enough of a reference out there where people get it, but they don't say, "Oh yeah, I've actually seen that movie all the way through."
All right, drop one on me.
Okay, my turn. All right, here we go. I gotta get this out of the way. Actually, no, I'll start with this one. I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy or the Hobbit trilogy. I'm putting them together.
You haven't seen any of the movies, and
let's put it this way. I haven't seen them all the way through. I saw the first 2 Lord of the Rings, didn't see the last one. At this point, in order to see the last one, I really think I need to watch the first 2 over again just to say I remember what happens. I haven't seen any of the Hobbit.
That's fine. The Hobbit is fine because
Okay.
the Hobbit is a turd. The first one I think had some promise to it, and then the trilogy as a whole is bad.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Okay,
it's universally accepted as not a good Peter Jackson trilogy because he didn't put the time and care into it that he did Lord of the Rings, which is amazing, which you need to see.
Yeah, and here's the problem.
And you need to give it your attention.
I do, and here's the issue. I saw not only did I see the first 2, I saw the first 2 in theaters. And when the third one came out, I didn't. So I dropped the ball on that one.
But you at least saw the first 2 movies. I thought you were going to say
did.
you made it through the 2000s without seeing any of the Lord of the Rings, which is just outrageous.
That would be bad.
They are phenomenal.
Yeah, I had to say that I saw the first 2. But it was enough of a confession to say, hey, I haven't wrapped this up.
I can't
need to wrap it up.
I can't believe you didn't feel compelled to finish the story.
Right, exactly. It's like, what are you doing? Like that's
2
people
leaves
say it's
off
the best. They say it's the best because it completes everything.
So good.
So I mean, I have to watch it.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. If you love the book, book lovers don't necessarily love the movie, though there's plenty who do.
Yeah.
Man, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So that's up high up on my list of haven't seen but need to now. But now I got to watch all 3 of them over again, really, or the first 2 and the third one.
Yes,
to really complete it.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Okay,
So
one
what's
that
next
I haven't seen.
Okay.
Which maybe a lot of people haven't seen it, but it's another one of these cultural ones. I have never seen Fight Club.
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me?
I've never actually seen Fight Club. I have no idea. I have no idea the true plot of that movie. I know the first rule of Fight Club.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Yes, exactly.
I know there's a soap logo with Fight Club carved in it.
The first rule now for you is I gotta go. You have to go see Fight Club. You have to watch Fight Club.
Yes.
It's definitely worth seeing it. I have to say, because there's a lot of movies out there that make it and they make it culturally, but at the end of the day, it's like there are some. It's like, well, they're famous for a reason, but they're famous for a short amount of time, and it doesn't really matter if you see them or not. This one's one of the ones you got to see.
I got to see it.
It's got a good enough plot. It's got some great themes in it where it makes it worth it. Something like, and this is on my list, but it's kind of low on my list. But just the only reason I'm mentioning it is just because to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Mean Girls, for instance. People get the cultural understanding of what Mean Girls is. Haven't seen it. Probably not missing much when you haven't seen it, right?
I don't think you're missing much. That made your list?
Well, no, it was like way down on my list.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't even going to mention it today. But the only reason I'm giving it any credence is because it's not like that kind of movie where there was a big cultural references to it and everything, but you can miss it and not really care.
Yeah.
I guess Fight Club is not in that.
It's funny that I have seen Mean Girls, and I guess there is some like people categories in that that are really distinguishable that you can automatically tell people fit into them. I guess it is a fun movie. It's a snippet of that time period for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mean Girls. But I
But
got
anyway,
you.
yeah.
But
So
Fight
you gotta
Club.
see Fight Club.
Okay.
Yeah, you're definitely missing out on not seeing that movie.
All right. That's fine. That's fine.
All right, next on my list. I
Okay.
got to give you this one, and I have not seen. This is probably not a shock to you either, but I have not seen any of the Star Wars episodes 1 through 3. No, I've seen 3. I haven't seen 1 and 2, and I haven't seen anything after. Would it be called Episode 6?
Yes.
So I haven't seen anything made. I haven't seen 1, 2. I haven't seen anything made that follows after 6.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
I'm
there's a
not
lot
shocked
missing.
only because we had a whole Star Wars episode where you divulged
it's almost
this.
like not even worth mentioning, but I had to just kind of throw it out
It is
there.
worth mentioning that you're just keeping your head in the sand on one
It's
of the
not good.
biggest movie phenomenons in the world.
But like I said, I'll just go into my next one just because it kind of goes along with this one. But I'm not only a Star Wars head.
Yeah.
Is that everything? I'm not a Star Trekkie either. So
Yeah,
I
me
haven't seen
either.
any of the Star Trek movies whatsoever. None of the old ones, none of the new ones.
I've at least
haven't
seen some
any
of the
them.
movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Well, I'm not gonna. There's a lot of people that haven't seen Star Trek movies.
Yeah, but those are the ones that actually when the new one first came out, the first one of the new series came out, and it did look intriguing to me, but I just didn't make it to see it. But I will eventually. But yeah, I haven't seen any of the Star Trek.
Basically,
Wars
anything that
movies,
takes
very
place
few.
in a ship in space, you say, "I'm out."
Yeah, pretty much anything sci-fi. I'm like, nah, probably not. I'll do fantasy over sci-fi though.
But apparently not complete the
But
fantasy
not complete
movies.
it. Yes, exactly.
You'll start a fantasy movie at least,
that's
but
true.
you'll get 2/3 of the way through a trilogy and just bail.
Who does that? Honestly.
Speaking of trilogies or yeah, I guess this is a trilogy. The reason I'm not confident is because I haven't seen any of them. And
Okay.
I haven't seen a single Bourne movie.
Oh no, there's definitely more than a trilogy at this point. It's a saga. I think there's 4 movies now.
I
I
wouldn't
think
know.
there's 4 or 5.
I know there's the Bourne Identity, and I know there's one called the Bourne Ultimatum.
And the Bourne Supremacy,
Bourne Supremacy.
and then just one called Jason Bourne. I think so. There's 4 that I can remember. I've seen them all. Yeah, those are good movies.
Are they that good?
The first one, once you watch the first one, you'll say, yeah, this is a good movie, and it'll catch you for the rest of the other ones for sure. Yeah, it's a very good movie.
It seems like a movie that people have seen.
Yeah.
Like a movie, a trilogy, a saga
Yes,
that people have seen.
absolutely.
And I don't know why. I just
Haven't gotten
skipped
that
it.
one.
I don't have anything against Matt Damon
No, he's a good actor.
I like Matt
I like
Damon.
Matt. He's a good guy. Hey,
for
Matt,
some reason.
if you're listening,
Well, he's
You're
one
liked.
he's one of our biggest fans.
yes, exactly.
Him and Paul Parker.
But no, you definitely need to check those ones out. You're missing out on those ones. If you're obviously you got to be in the mood.
Is
for
there anything groundbreaking about it?
it. I wouldn't say anything groundbreaking necessarily, but it's just it's a nice, fun adventure, action-packed movie that's not James Bond. It's different. You know what I mean? You're used to seeing a James Bond in that kind of figure in that
Oh.
situation. In this one,
I
you're
left
not.
all those ones out.
Uh-oh.
I've seen like half of GoldenEye. And other than that,
That's it.
zero James
And there's like
Bond
30 movies now.
Zero.
So that's bad. That's yeah.
Yeah. I love GoldenEye for N64 though,
That was a very good game.
but I don't know.
Didn't even see the whole movie.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
We'll start with the Daniel Craig movies
Okay.
at this point.
Yeah.
Forget to watch them.
Well, I thought I would go all the way back. Let's start with Sean Connery.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna start with him, yeah. Dr. No, I think was the very first one ever.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I think that's why I like Jason Bourne and people like that movie is because you're getting an action-packed movie, and you're not getting the typical leading man who's got it all together. It's more of like, I don't know who I am, and I'm just trying to figure things out. And I just kicked this guy's butt, but I didn't know that I could even do that. So it's like a different kind of character. That's why.
Okay.
So in that way, I don't want to say groundbreaking, but it's different. It gives you a different character.
You know what's funny is we're going through this. I was just thinking about this. Is I'm not as concerned with this list as telling you about it, but I'm wondering who's listening, who's going, I've known him this long and he hasn't seen this movie. I think when I let out one of these, if Nick D'Angelo, who we had on the show for
I remember
Christmas
Nick.
Music Part 2, if he knew that I didn't see it, I feel like he'd probably call BS on some references I've probably made, because I don't think I've ever said, I've never actually seen that movie.
Right.
But
So all of us doing that, we play into it like we've seen it.
Yeah. Well,
for a while.
Because you don't want to be the guy who hasn't seen a very popular movie.
Is this more painful for you than the episode we did on guilty pleasure songs? That was really
I had
hard
zero
for me.
shame on those songs.
Yeah,
though.
I had a lot of shame for my songs, but for the movies I don't have as much. I don't have as much.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, let me go to mine now.
Yeah,
This is not going to be a surprise to you and a lot of people here who know me because I wear this on my sleeve. But I have not seen the Avengers. I have not seen probably like 90% of the Marvel movies.
There's a reason why they make like millions upon millions at this point, total billions upon billions.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
There's a reason.
Yeah,
they're fun
good.
movies.
Yeah, and I've seen enough of them to know they're fun.
I know they're not cinema as Scorsese says.
Yes,
but he also makes some boring movies.
It's true.
Hot take. The Irishman. Isn't that good?
No. Sorry, it's not.
Sorry. I just went there.
Sorry. Scorsese's probably listening too. Who cares?
He's listening with Matt Damon.
Yeah. He's looking at us like, this is not a podcast.
This is not broadcast media.
Yeah.
What are these hack jobs?
What are they doing? That's
so.
That's true.
I don't even know what to say on that because there's certain ones that if you had said you hadn't seen it, not a big deal. There's some that I'm like, I don't know how you haven't seen it. You got to just.
I know.
I can't say you just got to go watch them all because you have let this get so far out of hand.
That is almost no turning back.
How? I don't know how you're going to even... Because the Marvel movies that are coming out now, they're not even like the one that just came out, which I still haven't seen yet, but like... It's
something I haven't even heard of. What's his name?
I don't know. I don't want to say something wrong.
Right.
And so it'd be like, wow, you just made that up, racist. So I'm not even going to say the name.
Yeah.
But it's nothing anyone's heard of except real big nerds, probably. Offense.
There's some out there, yeah.
No offense. Offense.
But
I'm an idiot.
But that being, and this makes it even worse. I've had people who have invited me to showings when they were in theaters, and I didn't go. I had people, Justin Miller, who actually gave me like 10 movies that he had on DVD and said, "Here, and watch them." And I'm like,
I let you borrow a classic Western.
Right. And this is true. I didn't have a DVD player.
Did you have one when Justin let you borrow 10 DVDs?
Justin gave me a DVD player.
Wait, what'd you do with that DVD player?
I just keep saying I don't have it, but I probably do somewhere. I just haven't found it. It's probably somewhere that I packed when I was reorganizing things. So I have it somewhere. So it's easier to say I don't have one rather than I have one in storage somewhere that I can't find.
It's easier to lie to friends.
So I apologize, Justin. Okay. But I did give him his DVDs back and say, hey, if I am going to watch these at this point, I'm probably just going to stream them from somewhere, from Disney Plus or something like that. But
he hasn't seen The Magnificent Seven, by the way. That's the DVD I let him borrow.
I haven't seen it. That wasn't on my list, but that is true. I haven't seen that one.
Just a classic.
Yeah.
It's just a classic.
Classic Western.
It's good stuff.
So that was is it my turn again? Or
no,
turn?
you said anything Marvel you haven't seen.
Okay.
So you haven't seen anything relevant for the past decade.
Pretty much.
That's fine. I have not seen. Let me see. I think this is one that you like because you're a John Candy guy.
I love John Candy.
I have never seen Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Oh. You haven't seen any of it, or you've only seen parts of it, or
I've seen the scene where they're driving on the wrong side of the road.
Okay,
which is hilarious.
It is hilarious. The whole movie is hilarious.
Imagine like the guy's drunk, but I haven't seen.
It's becoming one of those movies for me to watch every year on Thanksgiving time because it's one of the few Thanksgiving movies.
Is that where they're trying to get to Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's not Christmas because there's tons of Christmas movies, obviously.
Yeah.
There's very few Thanksgiving movies. So
perhaps
this is a Thanksgiving.
Perhaps
movie.
the tradition needs to start.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very good movie.
I love Steve Martin. I love John Candy. I just don't know why I have not seen that movie, and that seems like another, just a comedy classic.
Yeah, you have to see that one.
I've not seen.
That's a great movie. Yeah, that's one of those movies that there's a lot of laughing out loud humor in it.
Okay.
There's no holding it back. You're just probably gonna laugh really hard when you watch it. So nice. You've seen one of the best parts of the movie was in there in the car going the wrong direction. And what happens to the car? Probably, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't.
I don't remember what happened to
it.
the
Almost
car.
doesn't live through. But
Okay.
the whole movie. You'll see it. You got to watch it now. I'll make sure you watch it this year because we're September, so we're closing in on. Well, we got Halloween first. So we got some time. But we'll make sure it happens this year for you because it's really good.
Okay. Is that a family thing you do, or is that a you thing you do?
Oh, good question. No, it's just for me. Well, it's a me and Brianna thing, I should say, because
well,
kids aren't quite old enough to watch it
I don't want to
yet.
be a third wheel on that one.
But I could carve some time out. Carve turkey. Got that? I'll carve some time out, and we can maybe we can watch it together. That would be cool. So okay, my turn. Ready?
Yes.
I'm up to bat.
And we're at 25 minutes this episode.
Oh man. Okay.
So we're not going to get through all these.
No. Okay. I have not seen Titanic.
I don't like the movie, so
No.
it's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, you haven't seen it. But it was like the biggest movie of like that time in the 90s.
Right. It was I think it made the most movie up to that time ever, and then something else beat it. I think Avatar beat it or something like that. But at one point it had made the most movie, it had the most money ever.
I mean, it's definitely it's hard because you could really play off that you've seen it. Like, I totally saw it. It's sunk.
Right. Exactly.
It's sunk.
How do you know? How do you not know what happens? You know what I mean? So,
but there is, and you probably know some references, like her letting Jack fall in the water.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's all you really need to know.
Right.
It's a boring.
And she's the old lady at the beginning, right? Telling the story.
Yes.
So I mean, it's really
personal.
worth watching 3 hours worth of it.
Personal opinion alert. It's a boring movie.
Yeah.
It's fine that you haven't seen it.
So it's not like I should rush out and see this movie.
No.
If I get to it, I get to it. If not,
Cliff's Notes version. He's poor on the boat. She's rich on the boat. He draws her naked. Super weird. They get into a love story thing.
Yeah.
She's having fun down in the poor section. They're living it. The ship goes down. She lets him die instead of sharing her door. She's the worst.
she died. She's
I
lived to
think.
be old.
I think. Somewhere on
And
there.
there's there's some kind of medallion or something because I remember.
Yeah, that's what she's wearing. They find it at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I probably left off some major plot points there.
I mean, that's pretty much what more.
But I
plots
saw
could
it as
there
a
be?
kid, so the things that stuck out to me stuck out to me. And
I mean,
it
the
is what
biggest
it
thing that
is.
sticks out to me when I think of that movie is the song, obviously.
Oh,
you know,
I do love the song.
which you love, and them with that song playing. I think that's playing when it happens. What they're on the front of the boat there on the deck, and their hands are out, and they're in the wind, and they're letting go. And
I can't say that song actually happens there.
Okay.
It's just what people do when that song comes on.
Okay.
They act like Jack and Rose.
That's her name, Rose.
Yeah, I think.
She looks like a Rose.
Yeah.
She looks like her name would be Rose in
Yeah.
the movie. So
So you haven't seen Titanic?
Titanic.
To me, that's fine.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Good. I'll be able to sleep at night now.
I have not seen the Terminator movies.
Oh my goodness! Not any of them.
Pieces.
Oh no!
Which is crazy. My brother probably hates me the most for this.
Oh my gosh! So you don't. So the references to.
I know references.
Okay. So you get
Some
the references.
Some.
Obviously, I'll be back or some of those kind of things
yes.
you've seen.
I
Okay.
I got that.
Well, what's the name of the? I sound bad because I have seen it. But what's the name of the company that produces the Terminator? Skynet. Skynet.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard that or the Skynet's coming. People use that as a meme all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got to see that. You know what? If you're gonna watch it, this is the only time I would say this for almost any movie or any series of movies. Start with the second one.
I've heard the second.
Watch Terminator 2 first.
I mean, the second one is what they're kind of referencing in Dumb and Dumber when the cop walks up to the car window.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Is that? Am I thinking? Oh, Wayne's World. No. I'm thinking of something.
Where the thing about the
But
I know officer coming up
I
to
know
the
the
window.
officer who comes up to the window is whatever T-1000, whatever his name is, the one who turns the liquid.
The other Terminator, the liquid metal one. Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yeah. So
I know enough to kind of squeeze in. Like, well, if he knows that, he's seen the movie.
Right, exactly.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I haven't.
We got to see it.
So I haven't
start
seen any of
Start
those.
with 2. You know, if all you ever watch is the second one, I think you've checked enough Terminator off your list.
Okay.
Let me put it that way. I mean, because the other ones are good, but the second one can stand on its own. And be enough.
Like I know I've seen. I've definitely there's images of the movie in my head. and I know he's got to protect Sarah Connor.
Yep.
Because something happens to her son in the future, or she leads the rebellion in the future. I don't even know.
Her son John does.
John Connor.
Yeah,
who's the boy in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the boy.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I would, if someone asked me if I'd seen it, I'd have to say no.
Yeah. So if you saw the second one, you've seen enough, I think.
Okay.
The other ones are good, but that one's really got the most. So let me look at my list here. I have not seen Anchorman. Any of the Anchor. There's more than one now, right? There's two.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one.
Okay.
I haven't seen the second one, but the first one, it was just. I mean, there were nothing but Anchorman references happening at that time period.
Oh, I
in
know.
School.
And I heard them all the time. And people would just launch into them, and I'd say I start laughing.
Every
but
time
I didn't see it, and I didn't want to let people know I didn't.
So
see it.
full disclosure, I already knew this one because we've talked about it. But every time I show you a clip from the movie, you do laugh.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, think about this cast: Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd, Steve Carell.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of the actor's name. He plays a character named Champ Kind. Keckner, David Keckner, something like that. He's hilarious. And once you see, he plays Michael Scott's friend in The Office.
Oh,
the
yes.
real big jerk.
Yes. With the
Yeah, he's got kind of the crooked mouth. Yeah, I know exactly.
It's really funny.
Packer.
Packer, yes. Packer.
Todd Packer. Yeah. So he's in it.
I know.
Christina
I know.
Applegate is great in it.
There's really no excuse for it. Especially when I hear the references.
It is such.
the clips.
I think it's a Judd Apatow
Okay.
movie. It's just so funny. It's one of those like a Napoleon Dynamite for me, where if we get going on a string of references, it's never gonna end.
It's an all-day event.
And I don't need to watch the movie. Like you could just say a clip, and I'm like, I know what you're talking about. Vince Vaughn is in the movie.
Oh, that's right.
Ben
Vince Vaughn.
Stiller makes an appearance in the movie.
That's right. I think you showed me that part.
So much. Yeah.
The fight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The street
The
fight
street
that
fight.
mimics West Side Story.
Yeah. Which I haven't seen that.
Is that on your list?
Yeah.
West Side Story.
It's
that's just
way down the list, but it's
have you seen it
definitely one I
as a
haven't seen
play?
it. Never
have you seen it? Nothing with West Side Story.
Nothing.
Okay.
So I just know that there's two feuding gangs. That's about all I know.
Sharks and the Jets.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Once you're a shark, you're the... Okay. Anyway, speaking of old movies that I haven't seen, going back to West Side Story. This isn't as old as West Side Story, but this is another one that I feel like I just should have seen. It's like The Goonies. Right? Like I should have seen it.
Oh my gosh, Ricky!
And being large, people have said the truffle shuffle to me a number of times.
Oh yeah, so you've heard the references.
Oh yeah, I've seen
You've
the
heard,
fat
hey,
kid.
you guys.
Yes,
You've
I've heard that. Yep.
Okay.
I've seen the chubby kid shake his belly, but I haven't seen the
You
movie.
gotta see the movie.
I haven't seen the movie.
There's really
I don't
no
have a
excuse for not
clue
seeing
what
that
the
movie.
Goonies is actually about, except I know there's some kind of adventure that goes with it.
Yeah.
Is it a coming of age?
Oh, here
Is that
it's a
considered?
coming of age. You've seen Stranger Things.
Yes.
If you watch this movie, you'll see where they got the ideas for Stranger Things.
Okay. But you
The feel, the whole feel and everything is based on that whole.
Yeah, what part of
the whole
Stranger
thing.
Things do you think it like what what episodes see anything?
I've only seen the first 5 minutes of it, so I mean I can't go any further than that. But just what people have told me, what I've seen for that 5 minutes, you totally get the feel that they were copying.
You just look at the cast.
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
has
They
that
were
feel.
copying
Yeah.
Goonies, and they did apparently, from what I understand, they did a really good job doing it. So, but no, you have to see that movie for sure. That's a great movie.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to do one more
Yeah,
each?
let's do one more at least. Let me see what I got here. See, I got to pick this carefully because I only got one left.
The one that's just needs to leave my jaw on the ground.
Go ahead. Oh,
That's what that's
That's
the
the
one
one?
I want you to try and find.
all right. Let me
Which
see.
is weird because you may think it's one thing, and like it might be another Titanic situation where I'm like, no, that's fine.
All right. Well, here it
That's
is.
fine.
I think this one might be there. Might be there for you. I have not seen Austin Powers.
You haven't seen Austin Powers? It's funny. It's funny that you would think that I would care about that, but I don't own many DVDs.
Yeah.
I do have all 3 Austin Powers movies. That was another one that was on quote repeat forever. I'm still quoting that movie because if I see anything tasty, I go, get in my belly,
Right.
which is
Which
Austin
I know.
Powers 2.
which
I'm not going to say his name.
I had to say one thing. I saw the third one. I didn't see the first two.
What?
Yeah,
okay, the third one's
weird.
not very good.
Well, I thought the third one was hilarious.
Oh, okay. But it's not,
especially the part where he's behind the blind or whatever it is, and the mini me, the little me or mini me, whatever it is, and it looks like he's like giving birth to it.
Well, see,
that kind of thing.
That comes up in every movie.
Right.
They do something
I had a
with
feeling that was a shtick in the whole throughout the whole thing, but
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love Mike Myers.
yeah.
Those movies are so.
I've learned to
funny.
appreciate Mike Myers. I think I never watched it growing up because, first of all, my dad hated Mike Myers for some reason. He was not a big fan of his type of comedy. And so then I just I just don't watch it. So I didn't feel like I was missing much. Eventually, as I get older, I saw the third one, and I thought it was hilarious.
The coach at the gym I go to at Orange Theory made a Goldmember reference today. He said "toit like a tiger," which I think comes from Goldmember. He says it.
Okay. The one part is like, you're not going to eat that, are you? And you
you're
did. That's the part I remember.
I'm
that being
schmelting.
hilarious. Yeah.
That's a keeper.
That might have been one that I watched when I was in college because a friend of mine, Nick Furman, had a bunch of movies, and he's like, let's just put this on. So we watched it.
The first one's good. It establishes all the references. The second one I think is the funniest. Though the first one's pretty darn funny. The third one's obviously you thought it was funny. It's okay. I think the other two are funnier. Yeah, you need to see them.
Yeah, I knew I knew this was gonna be your response.
You can't watch them with your children.
Right, of course.
But Austin Powers is funny. I can't believe you haven't seen it because you referenced the third one. So just on that alone,
right.
I feel like, well, who would see the third? So, all right,
Who would
let's
see the
recap.
third?
Quick recap. You've seen the first two Lord of the Rings, but left off the third one. And with Austin Powers, you said, forget the first two. I'm going into the third one.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not putting them on the same wavelength here or pedestal level, whatever. Lord of the Rings is far superior to Austin Powers. But as far as comedies go, you got to see it.
Oh, yeah.
There's some things that I don't think are that funny just because sexual humor is not necessarily something that gets me giggling.
Right.
But some of the other stuff is just the way things are said.
Right.
The only thing that now I don't think I appreciate with Austin Powers as much is once I heard that the character Dr. Evil, right, Mike Myers kind of ripped off that impression from Dana Carvey.
Oh,
it was
didn't know
Dana
that.
Carvey's impression of Lorne Michaels from Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
And Mike Myers kind of used that as Dr. Evil.
Interesting.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But I still think, yeah, I'll let you borrow the DVDs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at watching. I won't watch the DVD, but I'll watch the stream.
Man.
So you got one more left, right?
I don't know which.
We're at the end now. I can take a look over here now.
Here's the one.
Okay.
I have to
All
say
right.
this one because this is
There's
the
some
one
good
that's
ones in
going to get under my friend Nick's skin, I think.
Okay,
I've never
yeah.
actually seen The Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Right. I think you need
That's a cult classic.
You need to experience it because there's nothing else that's really like it. It's its own. It's a cult classic. I think it's a Coen Brothers movie, if I remember correctly.
I'm not sure.
But it's certainly one of those where, you have to just see it and experience it to really understand why there's such a cult following to it, because it's not a Hollywood blockbuster.
No,
it's not a laugh out loud movie the same way that Austin Powers would be. So it falls in this strange little zone of black humor, I guess, like a dark comedy, I should say, dark humor, dark humor. So it's like. So, and it was one of the first movies I've seen that was a dark
Big
humor.
Mama's House is black humor.
That's true, exactly, yeah. Tyler Perry stuff, yeah. No, but no, it was the first movie I experienced that was dark humor that when I watched it, I'm like, I didn't know how to take it. And then as I watched it again, I'm like, okay, it's okay to laugh at it. It's okay to find some of these things funny and to find it odd at the same time.
Okay.
So... Yeah,
so
like
I haven't
Punch
seen
Drunk
that.
Love is like that too. That's a dark humor with
Adam Sandler. I haven't seen Punch Drunk Love, but I feel like that's fine.
Yeah. No, but you should definitely. I think you should see it.
I need to see it. It's not that I don't have a desire. For some reason, I've just never sat down and watched it.
Yeah.
I know the references. Like, I know who the dude is.
The dude, yeah.
I know that when they're bowling and someone steps on the line, John Goodman, like, cocks a gun or something and says, foul on the line, something.
Right.
I know that, but other than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, check it out.
The movie.
You don't know what you don't know.
And I'm also going to I'm going to include this one because
Okay.
it's such a massive blockbuster movie. I've never seen Avatar.
You're not missing much.
Okay. I own the Blu-ray.
Now,
Someone gave it to me.
People would probably, who know me, would say, "What are you talking about?" And they would probably lambast me, but I don't think it's anything worthwhile. I think visually it was stunning.
Do you remember what
but
happened?
the movie itself, it's not great.
People were going into depression over this movie, right? Because Pandora was the planet, right?
Yes.
And apparently it was so amazing that people would go out and the reality just wasn't as good as the movie. And they were like going into depression over it. I'm like, well, I'm not going to see this movie.
Yeah.
That seems nuts.
You're right. I forgot about that till you just mentioned it. But yeah, people were so enthralled with the way the Pandora looked and felt, and you almost, because there was a lot of like the 3D was going on at the time and everything, and I saw it in 3D. I saw, it was not only was it 3D, but it was, what's the big screen called when you can
IMAX.
It was like IMAX 3D, not just 3D, but IMAX.
So
3D.
like the best situation possible.
Yes, and it was beautiful, but again, and I could see why people would get just so enthralled with it, but at the same time, to the point where it made them look at reality and say, "Oh, reality's not that great," but anyway, I don't think it's a great movie. I mean, a lot of people would not agree with me because it made so much money.
Okay.
But anyway, people, I guess they're still saying they're going to make a second one, but anyway. So, I mean, if you see it, you see it. You'll understand what I mean. Is it worth the hype? No.
Both are James Cameron movies, Titanic and Avatar.
Yes.
Both of them, as the other one said it, I told you Titanic not a big deal. You told me Avatar not a big deal. That's weird.
That is.
Is that not weird?
That. Yeah, you're right.
That's strange to me.
But yet both made crazy money.
Crazy.
So he's doing something right for most people, but just for me now.
Okay.
Don't get it.
All right. Well,
I don't get it, but okay.
This has been fun.
Yeah. This is great time.
I just like talking about this kind of stuff because it's always crazy when someone says they just haven't seen something that you would expect them to have seen. But it was a fun conversation. I hope everyone listening enjoyed it. I'm hoping some of you guys were listening, and well, I don't want to. You just got heated. I hope you're listening and got a little bit flustered.
Yeah, and that would hopefully spill over into sharing your thoughts and opinions about what we said, about what we left out, about your thoughts about these movies.
If we know you and you see us, tell us what movie you haven't seen that maybe you think you should have. Or on social media, hit us up in the comments, tweet at us at the Lunch Bee Pod. Let us know what you haven't seen.
That's correct. Do it.
But until next time, this has been the Lunch Break Podcast.
Take care, Terry.